See students, Coulomb's law will give a formula for interaction between 2 point charges. This is a very important point you have to keep in mind. Okay, Coulomb's law will not give any formula for interaction of the extended charges. But listen students, we will make use of calculus integration to generalize the Coulomb's law. Okay, so according to Coulomb's law, the interaction force between 2 point charges separated by certain distance, right, is given as F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. This portion we have done yesterday. Okay. Now this is for air or vacuum, and in any other medium. Okay. In any other medium, F2 is equal to, we will write it as 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. This is in any other medium. Okay students, and here epsilon is always written as epsilon naught epsilon R. This also we have seen yesterday, where epsilon R is the relative permittivity. So therefore the general formula for force, interaction force between 2 point charges, is always written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon R into Q1 Q2 by R square. Okay guys, and here epsilon R is equal to, we always take it as 1 for air or vacuum, right? And epsilon R will be greater than 1 for any other medium. And in capacitors, the same epsilon R is going to represent with the letter K, and it is also said to be dielectric constant. Okay students, while solving the problems, if you were given dielectric constant, then simply it indicates that, okay, dielectric constant simply indicates that it is relative permittivity. That's it. Okay, and permittivity will explain the electrical properties of a given medium that I have taught yesterday itself. Okay, this is the interaction force students, and interaction force is given only for point charges, right? Let us see the applications related to this interaction forces. Now see students, since force is a vector quantity, you know that force is a vector quantity, all the rules related to vectors can be applied as it is for calculating the net force. Okay students, and one more important observation for Coulomb's law is it always appears between any two charges. I repeat, it always appears between any two charges. For a multiple charges, we will make use of superposition principle. I repeat students, Coulomb's force always appears between two charges. For multiple charges means more than one charge is present, like this. Three charges are there. So here this is Q1, and here this is Q2, and here this is Q3. Then you will expect three forces, right? Between Q1, Q2, one force, let it be F1, and between Q2, Q3, another force, let it be F2, and between this, another force, let it be F3. Now see students, for getting the net force, I'm taking F1, F2, F3 in vector form. Then we will apply the superposition principle. For getting the net force students, here always we will write F1 plus and F2 plus F3. That's it guys, F1 plus F2 plus F3. This is going to be the net force between three charges. Means always Coulomb's law is applied between two charges at a time. For multiple charges, we will generalize the same formula by using superposition principle. Okay, and that too, force is a vector quantity, no? Apply vector rule also. Like instead of superposition principle, suppose if parallelogram law is applicable, you can apply it. Okay, Just like vector rules, you can calculate force also between the given point charges. Okay, I hope you people might have understood what is Coulomb's force exactly. Next, I'm going to show you some more applications. For example, by using Coulomb's law, you can calculate like this. Here I'm taking Q1 charge. Here I'm taking Q2 charge. And here I'm keeping one charge Q. Okay. Suppose if you want to find out net force acting on Q due to the remaining two. Listen, if you want to find out net force acting on Q due to the remaining two, that is Q1 and Q2, then what shall we do is, we will take the force because of Q1 as F1 like this. Because students, Coulomb's force is a central force. What is Coulomb's force? It is a central force. Central force means always it acts along the line joining the charges. Suppose if Q1 and Q2 are the charges, force always acts along the line joining the charges. For plus Q, the direction of the force is always away from it. And students, for minus Q, the direction of the force always towards it. Okay, basing on that only, we will generalize repulsive force and attractive force. For negative charge, always we give direction of force into it. For positive charge, always we give direction of the force away from it. Okay, students, because force is a vector quantity, every time the net force is calculated by keeping vector rules in mind. Okay, and it is a central force, means always it acts along the line joining the charges, and by nature it is always conservative. Just like gravitational force, electric force is also conservative. Okay, means the work done against electric force always stores as energy in it. That is said to be electrostatic potential energy. I repeat, students, the work done against electric force always stores as energy in it. That is said to be electrostatic potential energy. Okay, guys. Now, if you want to find out the net force on any charge due to the remaining two charges, you have to apply superposition principle. Means force due to Q1 is F1 is acting like this, and force due to Q2 is acting like this, right? Suppose if theta is angle between F1 and F2, then the net force acting on Q is equal to, you will write it as under root of, use parallelogram last students, F1 square plus and F2 square plus 2 F1 F2 cos theta, right? This is going to be the F net. Okay, guys. Otherwise, you can use IJK form also by writing or by taking the situation in the coordinate system. I repeat, students, by taking the situation in the coordinate system. For example, this is the triangle I have taken. Extend this and call it as x-axis. Extend this and call it as y-axis. Now try to represent the forces F1 and F2, okay, in terms of IJK, and after that calculate the net force by using formula addition of two vectors, right? Means what I want to conclude here is, students, since force is a vector quantity and Coulomb's law has given a simplified formula for point charges, right? Use that formula as it is, but when you come across multiple charges, then use superposition principle. Okay, that is vector addition of all the forces, because at a time between two charges only force can be analyzed. If three charges are there, then you have to take between 1 2, next 2 3, then 3 1, 4 are there. Then see, students, if 4 charges are kept there, then in that situation, so 1 2 3 4 charges are kept. So this is Q1 charge, this is Q2 charge, right? And this is Q3 charge, and this is Q4 charge. Then force between 1 2, this is one force. Between 2 3, another force. And everything you have to do it vectorially. Keep that point in mind. Everything is solved vectorially. F1, this is F2, and this is going to be F3, students, and this is going to be F4. And between, you see Q1 Q3, again this is going to be F5, and between Q4 Q2 you are going to be one more. So all possible pairs you have to take. All possible pairs, because Coulomb's force acts always between two charges. That's why two charges constitute one pair, no? So all possible number of pairs you take. Now the net force is equal to vector addition of all these forces. Okay, guys, and everywhere, every time you can use F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square for point charges. Okay, and all the rules as it is can be applied related to vectors, right? And you take. Now, suppose I am taking here like this. F in air is equal to. Okay, I'm taking one small application, students. Concentrate carefully. This will be helpful for problem solving. F in air is equal to, I'm taking it as F1. That is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into between 2 point charges. Q1, Q2 by R square. This is F in air I'm taking. Okay. Take this as first equation. Now see, means here the two charges are separated by some distance R. That is the question here. 2 point charges are separated by distance R. Therefore, F1 can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. And now listen, the same system, okay, the same system. So initially it is kept in air, and after that the same system is transferred into, right, other medium. Let us consider the same system Q1 Q2 is taken into other medium. And okay, here right, in a medium having relative permittivity K or epsilon or whatever it may be, dielectric constant K or epsilon or, because for air epsilon or dielectric constant is always taken as 1, right, or K is equal to 1. Both is going to be 1 for air. Okay, here for this medium I'm taking. Now here it is separated by R1 and here it is separated by R2 I'm taking. Distance is also different I'm taking, right? And now you see, students, force in the medium F2 is equal to, listen carefully all of you, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon R is equal to, okay, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon R into I'm taking Q1 Q2 by R2 square. Right. See, students, I have not did anything magic here. Only two charges separated by distance R1 in air shifted to other medium and kept at a distance R2. I repeat, students, in the air, 2 point charges are separated by distance R1 and I have taken the same system to R2. Right. Now, force in air is equal to, I'm taking it as F1. Force in the medium is equal to, I'm taking it as F2. That's it. I have not done any changes. But accordingly, once the system is changed, epsilon R will changes, no? Okay. Here, epsilon R will be 1. And even you can write epsilon R is equal to K also. Here I'm taking it as K because in the application, students, usually dielectric constant will be given. Both are same. Relative permittivity, dielectric constant, both are same. No worries about it. So, see, students, F2 is equal to, I can even write here 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K into Q1 Q2 by R2 square. Now here what I am doing is, students, suppose, I repeat, suppose if F1 is equal to F2, force is same in both air and the medium. If F1 is equal to F2, let us consider, okay, students, because I'm going to show you one important relation from this condition, right? If F1 is equal to F2, what does it mean? Force between the charges in air is equal to force between the charges in the medium. Then equate 1 and 2. If you equate 1 and 2, then what you are going to get, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 by R1 square, right? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R1 square must be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into K, right? Into Q1, Q2 by R2 square. So Q1, Q2 get cancelled on both sides, friends. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught get cancelled on both sides. And finally, see the relation carefully. I can write R1 square is equal to K into R2 square. R1 square is equal to K into R2 square. What is R1? Separation between the charges in air. What is R2? Separation between the charges in medium. Now, the same formula I'm going to write in the next page. Therefore, we can also write R1 is equal to R2 root K. R1 is equal to, what do you write? R2 root K. Okay, students? Or else R1 is equal to R2 root K. This you can write. See, R1 squaring on both sides. So take square to that side. Then root K into R2. Now what I want to tell you is, if see, R1 is a distance in air, no? That is R air is equal to, okay, root K times, you see students, R air is equal to root K times R in the medium. Suppose if the charges are separated by R in the medium, then if you multiply with the root K, then you will get the corresponding equivalent distance in air to keep force as same. I repeat, students, if the two charges are separated, okay, if the two charges are separated by some R medium distance, see guys, if two charges are separated by R medium distance or R distance in the medium, I repeat friends, if the two charges are separated by R distance in the medium, then if you shift the same charges to the air and if you want to maintain the same force, I repeat friends, shift the same charges to the air and you want to maintain the same distance, same force, then in such case, the distance to be maintained in air is equal to root K times of the distance in the medium. I hope you might have understood what I'm saying. The distance between the charges in the air, to maintain the same force as in medium, you have to increase it by root K times. In the air, you have to increase it by root K times, because students, force in air is always greater than force in the medium. If you keep at the same distance, if the two charges are kept at the same distance, then force in air will be obviously greater than force in the medium. Okay. So in order to maintain, that means if you take the two charges from the air to the medium, automatically force is decreasing. So, and if you take the same two charges from the medium to the air, the force will increase. Okay, what happened? In order to maintain the same thing, distance should be increased. Okay, what happened? Distance should be increased. That means R air is equal to root K times. That means very simple and easy to remember, students. In the medium, if R is the separation, okay, and force is F, and if you want to maintain the same force in the air, you have to increase the distance by root K times. Root K you need to keep in mind. Okay, I hope you people have understood what I'm saying here. See, in F air, this is a force I'm taking, students, and if F medium, this is a force I've taken, students. Now suppose if the two forces are same, then I can write R1 square is equal to K into R2 square. Okay, now you see, R air is equal to root K times R medium. R air is equal to root K times R medium. Very simple. If you want to maintain the same force as medium in air, if you want to maintain the same force as medium in air, then separation between the charges should be increased by root K times in air. Like this you will remember. Or else, see, you can write it as note. If you want to maintain the same force in medium, in air also, then you have to increase the separation between the distance, separation between the charges by root K times. Automatically same force will be maintained for the given two charges. Or else, here R medium is equal to, distance in the medium is equal to, you can also write R air by root K times. Root K is the factor. You keep that point in mind. Means if you take the charges into the medium, then in order to maintain the same force, the separation between them should be decreased by root K times. So either increased or decreased, depends on the nature. Force is increasing means distance should be decreased. They are inversely proportional. Force is decreasing means distance should be increased. Okay, remember in that way. Okay. Anyway, I got a few doubts. Sir, in red box you wrote R1. Ishwar. Piyush. Okay, will be relative permittivity of the medium. Yes, sir. Yeah, okay, hero. You are right. But see, while I'm discussing the topic, please don't try to interfere, because after completing the topic, I'll give chance. Because in the process of thinking about that, you will miss continuity for the next line. Right? Yeah, you are right. You asked it, okay, Mustafa. But see, in the process of typing that 1 by 4 pi x from that, it takes time, no? So in that time, you will miss the continuity of the class, right? Okay, good. Anyway, sometimes I will be mistaken. Better you have to remind me. That is fine. But don't concentrate only on that, because you will miss the continuity of the class. Okay, Piyush, Mustafa, Ishwar, Prasad, Mustafa. Anyway, it is showing your focus on the class. Good, excellent. I'll check it out, that red box. Red box, I'll check it out. R1 I have taken. Very good. Excellent. Very good observation. It should be R2. Excellent, students. It should be R2. Okay. But here I have written R2. Sometimes it happens, no? Excellent. Good. I hope coming to the concept, everyone understood. Okay. Because on this, I'm going to give you very important condition. Okay. In order to follow that condition effectively, you have to keep this point in mind. Right? Means if you take the two charges to the medium, force decreases. In the air, force will be more. In order to maintain the same force, force decreases, no? In order to decrease the force, distance should be increased. Or in order to increase the force, distance should be decreased. Keep that point in mind. Okay, guys? So this is the relation. Now, I am going to give you one situation. Okay, listen carefully, all of you guys. I'm going to give you one situation. If you maintain the same distance, then forces will be different. Force in air will be greater than force in the medium. Okay, force in the air will be greater than force in the medium by K times. Okay, if you maintain the same distance, what happens, Zero? Force in the air will be greater than force in the medium by K times. Okay, because see, here we have seen already, force in the air is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R1 square. 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q2 Q1 Q2 by R2 square. If R1 and R2 are same, then F air is equal to always F medium by, or F medium is equal to F air by K. That is a relation. Okay, not root K times. Not root K times. Here itself you see, hero, F2 is equal to, here you see, F2 is equal to, or F in medium is equal to, this is a relation we will write. F in medium is always written as F in air by K times, right? So if you maintain the same distance in air and the medium, then force in the medium observes to be 1 by K times lesser than force in the air, or else force in the air observes to be K times more than force in the medium. Okay, students, that's it. This is a relation. Even if you want, you can copy down this also. Coming to the distance, this is a relation. See, guys, if you take the distance, this is going to be the relation between the distance. Okay, now I'm going to give you very important application, right? See, here two charges, Q1 and Q2, are separated by distance R, right? Therefore, no doubt force between them is equal 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. Okay, now here same same two charges are separated by distance r only. Same two charges separated by distance r only, but in between, right, in between Q1 and Q2, somewhere one dielectric material is kept, means some other medium is introduced having thickness T and dielectric constant K or relative permittivity K. Okay, students, one more additional medium is introduced. This is a medium having dielectric constant K, right, and thickness T. Okay, I hope you people understood what I am doing here. A dielectric is introduced. This is a dielectric having thickness T and dielectric constant K. T is the thickness, K is the dielectric constant. Now, what could be the interaction force between Q1 and Q2? You can keep it anywhere. What could be the interactive force between Q1 and Q2? Okay. Here what we do is, students, if you come across like this, then interaction force between the two charges can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, right, Q1 Q2 by, okay, R effective square you will write. Means we have to take effective distance, the total distance. And here I can write, listen carefully students, R effective is equal to, R effective is equal to, I can write it as R minus T. R minus T is totally filled with air, no? You can keep T anywhere in between. R minus T is totally filled with air plus the equivalent air distance. R air is equal to root K times R medium, no? So plus I can take root K, okay, into T. Root K into T. This is going to be the effective distance. Okay. So therefore I can write, if a small portion or a small distance between the two charges is covered by a medium having thickness T and dielectric constant K, then in such case force will become not total. If total it is occupied, force decreases by K times, no worries. But here small portion is there. Then in that case, force is directly written as by taking the effective distance concept. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by effective distance is what? R minus T is going to be air, students, plus the equivalent air distance is equal to root K times, equivalent air distance is root K times, okay, distance of the medium. So this whole square, R minus T plus root K times into this. Or else if you take T as common, then R minus or R plus, okay, root K minus 1 you will get. Okay, this can also be written as, this is equal to R effective is equal to, students, you can also be written as R plus, if you take T as common, then what do you get? Root K minus 1, that's it. If you take T as common, then R effective is equal to, you will get R plus root K minus 1 over, students, that's it. Like this we will generalize. Okay guys, I hope you people might have understood how the medium and air affects the force between the charges. Okay, this is a maximum information. With this you can analyze easily, right? For multiple charges you can use vector method, students, that already I taught you after the class. Okay, listen students, I'm going to share you documents only in the evening, because till 6 o'clock 5:50 I have the classes. Okay, yesterday some people keep sending the messages, CB sir assignment, CB sir assignment. Okay, I'll get free myself in the evening, and usually I will send you in the evening only, evening or night or in the early morning, right? No worries, I will remember, because not only you, I need to maintain 4 more batches. Okay, total 5 batches I'm taking. So accordingly, I'll give you the assignment, no worries at all. And today I'm going to give you numericals from the same electric force. Okay guys, right. So this is only point charges. And in this also, I'm going to show you one more very important application, that is concept of null point. This is null point. This is also very important for point charges. See students, I am doing now only for point charges. Next level I will take extended charges. So null point. I hope every one of you have idea about null point. Nothing, zero. So null point means technically you have to think that net force on that null point will be zero. Force will act on the null point, but net force will be zero. Very simple. You take one object. Okay. Horizontally left, you are applying some force. Horizontally right, you are applying some force. Okay. Suppose if both forces are equal and opposite, then the body will be at rest. No. So means net force will be zero. So such situation is null point. Okay. So on that object or on that charge, force acting on one side is exactly balanced by force acting on other side. That is said to be null point, right? Now see students, if you consider, listen carefully, if you consider 2-point charges, okay, this is Q1 and I'm taking this is Q2. Both are positive charges I'm taking. Then consider any point P, right, where small q charge is kept at a distance x from Q1. And let us consider the separation between Q1 and Q2 is equal to some D I'm taking. Instead of R, I'm taking some D. And obviously between Q and Q2, the separation is going to be D minus X. I have not done anything tricky here, only the parameters I have taken, because initially Q1, Q2 separated by some distance D students. Consider a point P, right, where charge Q is kept. Now from Q1 it lies, and here I'm also considering that Q1 is the smaller charge. By magnitude, Q1 is less than Q2. Okay, that also you need to keep in mind. Now see, what is the net force? Anyway, Q1 is a positive, no? Let us consider. Here I'm doing one more assumption. Let us consider Q is a unit charge. Okay, a unit charge or test charge, both are same. A unit positive charge, better. This also you need to use because charge may be negative or positive, no? Or a test charge. Okay, the meaning of unit positive charge or test charge is, students, it will be just influenced, but it will not influence. I repeat, it will be just influenced, but it will not influence. Means if a test charge is kept in front of a positive charge, if a positive test charge is kept in front of a positive charge, then it will be repelled by that positive charge. Or if a positive test charge is kept in front of the negative charge, then it will be attracted by that negative charge. It won't attract that negative charge. It won't repel that positive charge. Okay, it will get influenced. Okay, that is the meaning of unit positive charge or test charge. Here Q1, Q2 are the main charges, and relatively they are huge. Their magnitude is significant to attract or repel the unit charge. Right, now you see. So a unit positive charge is kept. Now the force exerted by Q1 on plus Q will be away from it because it repels. Na? Both are positive, it repels. So let it be F1. And similarly, the force exerted by Q2 on Q is also repulsive force, F2, because they are identical, like. Identical in the sense, same nature, F1 and F2. Therefore, see students, if you want to write the net force, okay, if you want to write the net force on the point P or net force on this, you can write it as F1 difference of F2. Okay, or else simply you can write in this way, F1 difference of F2, or else simply even you can write it as like this, F2 minus F1. F2 minus F1. Suppose if F2 is greater than F1. Very simple, students, they are acting in opposite direction. Now, what is the net force? Difference of the two forces. They are acting in opposite direction. F1 is acting horizontally right, F2 is acting horizontally left. F1 difference of F2 you will take, or F2 minus F1. Suppose this is a net force. Then suppose if, right, F net is equal to 0. Net force acting on that point P is equal to 0. Then we can say that P is a null point. Okay, what is a P? Is a null point between Q1 and Q2. Okay, so P is a null point between Q1 and Q2. Copy, students, all of you, every one of you, please copy. If F net is equal to 0, then we will take P is a null point between Q1 and Q2 students. That's it. Okay. So, okay, right. Sometimes you'll be asked to identify the position of null point. Now, what is the nature of P? At P, effect of Q1 as well as effect of Q2, if a unit charge is kept, get nullified, means equal and opposite. That is the meaning. So therefore, at P you can write F1 is equal to F2 directly. Okay, at P, if it is a null point, if it is not a null point, then this cannot be written. Net value is equal to F2 minus F1. That you will calculate, right? F1 is equal to F2. Now try to apply the force. We know that F1 can be calculated as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 by R square, means Q1 Q2 is Q na, by R square is X square. F1 is interaction force between Q and Q1, and F2 is what? Interaction force between Q and Q2. And one more thing, students, if medium is not mentioned between the charges, you take it as air. Okay, unless and until medium is not mentioned, you have to take it as air only, right? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into, you can write it as Q2 into Q by, okay, D minus X whole square over. Here 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 Q, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 Q get cancelled, and 1 by X square is equal. How do you cancel Q1 Q2 hero? 1 second. How do you cancel, guys? Right, you see. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught get cancelled, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, fine. This get cancelled. Q1 by X square is equal to, right. Here, friends, after simplification, you can write Q1 by X square must be equal to Q2 by D minus X whole square over. And from here, try to make X as the subject. For that, what I am doing is D minus X by, my intention is to make X as the subject, because I want to find out the position of null point from smaller charge. Because in the problems you will be asked majorly determination of null point from the smaller charge, right? D minus X by X whole square is equal to, students, you can write Q2 by Q1. Okay, now here D minus X by X is equal to, this is equal to, what I get? Under root of Q2 by Q1. Okay, I hope you make X as the subject. So on making X as the subject, I hope you will get X is equal to, simplified, X is equal to finally D by under root of Q2 by Q1, it remains as it is, right, into plus 1 you will get, I guess. This is going to be the final answer if you make X as the subject. Because you see, students, the next step is going to be D by X minus 1 is equal to under root of Q2 by Q1. This is going to be the next step, students. Now from this, X is equal to this, right? X is equal to D by under root Q2 by Q1 plus 1. So what is X? Okay, you can write it as a note. X is the distance of null point from smaller magnitude of the charge. Okay, that is to be remembered compulsory. This is distance of null point from smaller magnitude, that is Q1. And sometimes if you will be asked to find out the null point from larger, then it's going to be D minus X. So D minus X is going to be the distance from Q2, right? And one more thing also I want to reveal you, that the same distance of null point from the smaller magnitude comes out to be, this is for your homework, Q2 by Q1. The same thing comes out to be X is equal to D by under root Q2 by Q1 minus 1 you will get if the two charges are unlike. Here see, this is for like charges, means either they are plus plus or they are minus minus. This formula is for what, students? unlike charges. Okay, guys, means one is plus, another is minus. You will get here minus. That means this you need to do homework, students. I will ask you the derivation. You do the derivation for this. Under root q2 by q1 minus 1, x is a position of null point. Okay, so therefore in general, for remembering it easily, you can write like this. The distance of null point is x is equal to d by under root q2 by q1, d by under root q2 by q1 plus or minus 1 is written. This is a common formula for finding the position of the null point from smaller magnitude of the charge. That is to be remembered, students, compulsory. And plus is used for like charges. Okay, guys, and minus is used for unlike charges. Plus for like charges, minus is for unlike charges. Okay.